my God, I'm so excited. You know who I'm sitting with today? I'm not even going to tell you. Y'all figure it out. Oh, you already know who it is because you've seen the promo card. Listen, man, I'm with Bridget Riley today. Like, dude, my career has advanced to that level where I get to interview Bridget Riley. So, sit down, grab a drink, a strong one. You're going to need it for this one. And welcome to the show, my guest, Bridget Riley. Bridget, welcome to the Ace Michael Show.
Thank you.
Wow. Wow. So, Bridget, I'm not going to waste any time. So, tell us about it. What's going on with you?
Well, I am a singer and entertainer in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Yes, you are.
And I tour as well, but right now I'm wanting to further my career here. So I'm releasing a song coming up on August 1st called Storm Cloud. So I'll talk more about that later.
And this is Storm Cloud is your first release as an artist?
It's my second, yes. It's my second single. So.
And tell us about the burlesque too, because you were doing this, like you got these posts like Bridget Riley, burlesque, and then there's pictures with you and, is her name Giordana?
Oh, Britannia.
Britannia.
Yeah.
Yes, Britannia Giordano, right? And I love her too. She's another great singer.
Yeah,
but
she's
you two
fantastic.
You do things together?
Yeah, so we used to sing together all the time, and we're working on actually starting to do that again, hopefully, here soon. And but she had actually never done a photo shoot like that, so she reached out to me. Well, I posted that I had these two costumes, and she reached out to me, and she was like, I've always wanted to do a photo shoot with you.
Right.
I would love to. And I'm like, you're beautiful. Let's go. So we did it, and the results were awesome.
That is amazing. Now let's talk about beauty, okay? Because
All right.
you are a beautiful girl.
Thank you.
You're one of those girls that's so pretty that you kind of have to take your breath a minute. Like, whoa,
Oh.
I didn't know we was doing that today. I guess we is. But no, you're very pretty. So does that become a tool more, or does it become a hindrance more? Like when you walk into a meeting, do you say, oh my gosh, these guys are going to be thinking I'm too pretty to do this, or
Oh.
I won't get my hands dirty, or you know what I mean?
Well, I don't like to be cocky about it, but I do know that I have a unique look about me, and I stand out in a crowd, which in this industry, it's something
It's gotta help.
yeah, it does help a lot. I really enjoy, I definitely enjoy being able to catch attention, because that's what you want to do when you're trying to be in the arts industry, in film or music or any of those things. The only drawback that I find is, well, I mean, I guess there are a couple, but a lot of times, you go to a meeting that's supposed to be a business meeting, and especially men, they
Of
try
course.
to hit on you.
It's men all day. You
And-
can say it. It's true.
Yeah,
Men all day long.
and
That's who we are. That's what
You
we
know,
do.
and like people talk about the casting couch and stuff like that, and it's changing very quickly because people are getting called out for their behavior. People who have dealt with the same person are talking to each other and being like, oh, you dealt with that too, and it's becoming not okay anymore, which is fabulous because
Right.
Personal is personal, professional is professional, and you gotta, when you start to mix the two, it gets really complicated. So that's one of the only things about being an attractive girl going to meetings that, and then also when you go out, people always want something from you. So that's another thing. But besides that, I'm very grateful for what I have, and I work hard to, I put on makeup almost every day for every gig, because it's what you got to do. So.
Yeah. Do you find yourself, like, for example, for me, I'm an artist, I'm a black artist, so when I see other male black artists doing music videos, sometimes I see things that I go, ooh, I wouldn't do that. Do you ever see like some girls maybe too scantily clad or maybe too this, and you go, gosh, is this what we've come to now as a female artist? Do I have to compete with songs like WAP, or do I have to wear a G-string in order to get a music video made? Like, is this now where we've gone to?
Yeah, well, I mean, I have a respect for people who do things differently than I would, because if they're all doing things the same as me, then why am I trying? Because there's already a person in the market who's like me. So I don't, I mean, when I heard WAP, I was like, really? This is quite raunchy. It's fun though. It's a fun song,
Right,
you know, and
right.
it's huge and got all the right people. And, but yeah, I don't know that I'd write something that explicit, but my songs tend to have curse words in them and be
Oh,
about
really?
subjects that people don't always talk about. So
I
my
can't
newest
even imagine
one,
a curse word coming out
really?
of your mouth. You don't seem like a curse
No.
word. Try one for us.
Once you get to know me,
what's your one you would go
I
to?
mean, especially if I have a drink, I have the mouth of a sailor. But
Really?
see, I'm in professional mode right now.
I got
so
you. Yeah, because I'm trying to picture. I would imagine it's now you have a little slight bit of an accent to me.
Really?
But people say I have an accent because I'm from Kansas City.
Okay.
But you don't. You're not from anywhere but Vegas,
No,
right?
I was born in Los Angeles, but I've been in Vegas since I was 2 years old, so I only remember Vegas.
That's interesting.
But I do get that I have an accent a lot. I think it's because my mom, growing up, she was a journalism major, so she really emphasized being well-spoken and taking your time and enunciating. So I just grew up learning to speak that way, and I think because of that, maybe I speak slower than a lot of West Coast people, or I don't know exactly what it is, but I do get that a lot. So
I wonder if because of your look, you look very Scottish or Irish, so we automatically we think we're hearing Sean Connery's voice coming out of your body. That would be weird. But you
I mean,
started
that's
to
possible.
talk about yeah, right.
The mind does weird things.
Yes, exactly. But you started to talk about your song, and I cut you off.
That's
I
okay.
took us in a different direction. Tell us about your song, your new single.
So it's called Storm Cloud, and I've been writing it for a long time, and then I took it to Tony Carboni, who's a
Oh, I know
music
Tony
producer here.
Carboni.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's awesome.
Great guitar player.
He's good at everything. It's
He is.
ridiculous.
He is.
But I took it to him, and he helped me rearrange it a little bit and produce the track. And I'm absolutely in love with the result. I think it's the best thing I've written yet. So we're dropping it on August 1st at midnight, whatever your time zone is. So
Nice.
yeah, it'll be on all streaming platforms. It's called Storm Cloud.
Now, a lot of people don't understand the recording process, and it's sad because when I see an interview, like if I watch Jimmy Kimmel, they'll talk about the process of making a movie, but they don't
Yeah.
go into depth, like what's it like to be sitting on a set. And so if you can, tell us what is it like, what's the difference between, for example, singing live, which you do, great,
Thank
and
you.
then singing in the studio? Is it a different mindset? Is it a different technique? Like what's the difference?
Yeah, it's definitely different. Like for me, when I perform live, it's I just kind of, well, one, you have the energy in the room of the audience, so that makes a big difference, you know, because if they don't really care, I kind of tend to just like lean back and like have fun with the piano player or whatever,
okay.
you know, but if the audience cares a lot, then it can be really amazing because you can trade energy with them. And I tend to just pour out emotion a lot when I am live. I don't worry as much about the perfection of the vocals as I do the delivery of them, if that makes sense. Whereas in the studio, of course you want to evoke emotion, but as far as when people listen to a song over and over and over again, they're often looking for, I mean, so many people use so much autotune now. They expect pitch perfectness. They expect all of these things, which I don't strive for perfection still because I think that's not real. So I like a little autotune, but not too much. But yeah, in the studio, you'll re-sing the same line 4 times. Sometimes, I mean, I once worked with a producer who had me sing the same line 30 times and then went through and took each word out.
Oh, wow.
And
Wow.
we didn't end up using that. But, you know, people work in all different ways. And in the studio, it's more about putting in the hours and making it, you're really making art in the studio. And not that you're not live, but it's a different kind of, yeah, I think it's very raw when it's live. And in the studio, it's very calculated, I guess.
Now, speaking of calculations, you know, we live in a world, musically and entertainment-wise, we live in a world where things have become so much more calculated than
Yeah.
when I was a kid, which was a million years ago from when you were a kid. But, you know, nowadays it's about marketing and packaging and
Definitely.
how we're going to sell the brand. We're not worried about the song or the singer nearly as much as the brand. So I want to ask you a question that's kind of a popular question in
All
our
right.
industry, which is, can a person be taught to sing? Can a person without talent be taught eventually to present it like they have talent?
Well, you know, it depends. I think, I mean, for example, something I can relate to with this is, I mean, I'm not a bad dancer, but I'm not a dancer. But if someone gives me the right choreography, I can appear as though I am a dancer, if
Oh,
that makes
interesting.
sense.
Yeah, yeah, of
So
course.
I think, you know, as long as somebody's not completely tone deaf, they can eventually learn to sing, you know, if you have like the right techniques going for you and if you're singing stuff that's not super challenging. I think people can develop and become better. Now, that being said, I do think that most people in the industry have a natural talent to begin with, and on top of it, work hard to become better. But I've also met people who, I mean, maybe a couple years ago, like they're like, oh, I'm a singer. I'm like, great. And I go to see them and I'm like, I don't know about that. And then 2 years go by, I haven't seen them in a while. And then I hear them and they're freaking incredible. And I'm like,
Right.
I don't know what happened, but they worked really hard.
Yeah.
Or maybe they got more comfortable on stage and they sound awesome. So I think people definitely can get better. I don't know if somebody with absolutely no talent could become it, but if you're doing, you know, like spoken singing, or there are definitely artists out there who are famous who I've seen them live and they are not great, but
But
they're
that
good
record
in,
sounded
but their
amazing. Yeah.
songs are super catchy and I listen to them. So
Yeah. Now,
yeah.
speaking of songs and songwriters, Adele. You know, you have brilliant red hair, blue eyes. So when Adele came on the scene, did you say, yes, I'm in, I'm in? Because you do have that fabulous, similar look to
Well, thank
Adele,
you.
you know?
You know, I've gotten that I look like her a lot, so it's funny. But when she first came out, I was in 6th grade. I was very young.
Okay.
So I had no idea. I mean, I knew I wanted to be a singer. I've known that since I was like 2 years old, but I didn't relate to her at all. Rolling the Deep came out and I was like, I love this song. But at that point in time, I couldn't sing that. I sang a lot of musical theater and a lot of country music growing up.
Oh, interesting.
So, and I still have a love for those things, but I don't think I relate to them as much as I do to modern, like, I mean, not cheesy pop music, but I relate more to people like Alanis Morissette or Adele now, because they talk about real life things. That's why, like, Alanis Morissette is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
Because her songs are brilliantly written.
Yeah.
She's an amazing lyricist, and she is able to convey emotions so well. And it's not always the same type of emotion either, which is cool. Whereas, like, with Adele, I absolutely love her, but a lot more of her songs are sad than aren't.
Yeah.
So I try not to go that way as much with my music. But, I mean, I do have some sad songs, of course.
And music can put you in a mood. Like if you
Yeah.
get into a certain music lane, you could be stuck in that lane for all day and you're just depressed. You don't know why. I'll tell you a funny story very quickly. I was in LA and I won tickets on a radio station to go and see Etta James.
Okay.
Right? And I
Yeah.
was stoked. I was
Yeah.
very excited about that because I wanted to see Etta James. But Etta James got very sick, and the radio station announced literally the day of the show, Etta won't be able to perform.
Dang.
But we're going to still have the concert, and Shaka Khan will
Okay.
sit in her place. So I was like, okay, well, I can go see Shaka Khan. I'm
Yeah.
not mad at that. So we go to the Hollywood Bowl, and Shaka Khan's going to be the headliner, and they introduced the opening act, this young girl you've never heard of before. She's got a new single she's breaking, Adele.
Oh, wow.
And so this is back when Adele was playing her guitar. She did her song called "Save the Best for Last." Was her that at that time that was her hit. That was
Okay.
the big song.
All right.
And so she came out, and I remember she was very awkward on stage. And she said, I'm not used to this. I'm sorry." She forgot lyrics. She forgot things to play, and she was just very, what you call self-effacing. And it was interesting to see her. But even at that point, I knew that she would be a big star. Like, I knew it. I just knew. I was like, this girl,
Yeah,
her
she
songs
just had
are
it.
good. She's coming full heart. She's making mistakes, and she's not trying to be a prima donna about it. She's just saying, hey, this is the best I can do, guys. Here's what it is. So how much of your real life goes into your real art?
Oh, 100%. Like, I mean, granted, each song is only a facet or one experience, but anytime I have a super emotional experience, it's like I think in song. It's very interesting. I almost download songs, like when something, if I get, for example, we're talking about Adele, if I get my heart broken,
Yeah.
instantly it just comes to me. Like, I'll have like an entire verse and chorus of a song just come to me, and I'm
People
like,
break your heart? Shame on you people.
I mean, it happens to everybody, and sometimes,
Wow.
two good people aren't right for each other, or
Ooh, there's a song.
sometimes, yeah.
That's two good people aren't right for you. That's Colorado and Nebraska. Yeah, we'll cover Nebraska.
All
Gotta
right.
make sure, because people watch my show, they be like with a pad in their hand, like, oh, two
Oh, yeah?
right people. I don't know.
All right, we just have to do it first then.
Yeah, we might even edit that out. Y'all might not even see what she just said because it was so dope. That's a great title for a song.
Thank you.
That's a really great title.
Yeah.
I like that.
But like, yeah,
In any genre too, like that could be a dance song.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that being a Calvin Harris type of dance song. I could also see that being like I could see Sade doing that. Like I could see that as that's a good hook. Keep that. That's very
I haven't
nice.
thought about one like that, but that
Yeah,
that could be cool.
nice. Speaking of other types of music, would you do other types of music? Like, for example, we talked about, like Doja Cat or someone like that who does a raunchy song.
Yeah.
The producer calls you in and says, listen, we got this song. We're already placed this with Bajorna Brothers. So this is a done deal.
Yeah.
We're going to make millions with this song.
Okay.
And we want you to sing it.
Absolutely.
And you don't care if it's super explicit.
No.
No,
I
she's like,
mean-
give me that. Give me my money.
Yeah, well, hey, I'm a starving artist right now, so.
She's like, hey, you better cut me a check.
But-
That's what's up.
Yeah, but I mean, also, like I said, I have, as long as music is done well, I'm happy to do any type of music. That being said, if you cut me a big enough check, I would probably sing on a song I didn't like. But I'd rather not, but of course I would. Anybody who's trying to break into the industry, if you get a
Sure.
good opportunity like that, you don't pass it up.
Sure.
But yeah, like, I mean, anybody who follows me on Instagram knows that I don't have a problem with raunchy content. I
Wow.
mean, I try to have artistic photos, but there's definitely close to nudity on there, so.
And what's wrong with nudity? Like,
Well-
why do people get so bunched up on nudity?
Especially in our culture. Like, in Europe and in other countries, it's not a big thing.
It's actually
And-
celebrated.
Yeah, they have nude beaches. And it's not always sexualized either. Like,
Right.
and in the Renaissance period, a lot of the art is like that. I mean, go back to ancient Greek statues and all of those things. It's just the human form is celebrated. It's not taboo. And I think, not that there's anything wrong with Christianity, but we became a very Christian culture when our country was first founded and so on. So a lot of those, I'm losing the words, but a lot of those values kind of shaped our society and how we view very puritanical. That's what I'm looking
Puritanical,
for. Yeah.
yes. And I've said this before on different shows. Like, I don't understand how it turned out that for example, if I want to see naked college girls, I could go to the university and I could see naked college girls all the time
Yeah.
because they're at every party, they're at every car wash, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
But somehow $1 billion is being made off of websites promoting naked college girls, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, but it's just a college girl without her top on. What's the big deal? So, are you hip to the artist Rita Ora?
Rita Ora.
She had a song with the rapper Izzy Azalea. They
Okay.
have a song called Black Widow. I'm gonna
Oh
love
yeah,
you
yeah. That's a
until
great
you hate
song.
me.
I actually really like that song. I know you.
So
Should have
Rita
known
Ora,
better.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, great,
Yeah.
yes,
I like that song.
and Rita's beautiful, and Iggy Azalea is beautiful as well.
Mhm.
But Rita's on the cover last month of a magazine, a European magazine. She's
Uh-huh.
literally on the cover
Uh-huh.
with no top on.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not talking like this. I'm talking like
No,
she's
like, you
like,
can see
bam,
everything.
here they
Okay.
is, my jubblies, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't think that the European culture probably freaks out on that
As
nearly
much
as
as
much
we
as
do.
if that was an American magazine.
Yeah.
It would be banned, it'd be censored, it'd be like all over the internet. Like, do not buy this magazine. She's on the cover naked.
Yeah, well, it would be like do it or don't, like, because it's very divided, I think.
Yeah.
You know, where there are a lot of people who would be like, oh, boobs, I'm going to buy that now. Or they'd be like,
Right.
oh, no, my kids can't see that. You can't listen to her anymore. Like, it's, there, we
Yeah,
definitely
you're
have
right.
those
They would
extremes.
say they would say you can't listen to this because she's on this cover with topless. So don't listen to her music. Don't buy her
Yeah,
music.
they do. Well, just like, for example, when Miley Cyrus grew up, you know, I grew up listening to her.
Excellent
I
example.
loved Hannah Montana, you know, and my parents didn't do it, but I saw a lot of my friends' parents who were like, you can't listen to her anymore. But, and I'm like, well, she's 19, 20, 21 now. Of course, she's not going to be the little girl that we used
Right.
to watch. And she, honestly, I feel like she had to do something extreme in order to not be viewed as a little girl, as a Disney star anymore, because that's not what she wanted to be anymore.
Right.
So, and what 21-year-old, well, most 21-year-olds, you know, are, of course, they're going to be partying. Of course, they're
Right.
going to be experimenting with sexuality. Of course, you know,
Right,
that's
right.
what you do, like, when you're growing up and when you're around that age. So, but so many of my friends' parents were like, you cannot listen to her anymore. So then they'd get in the car and they'd play it because they're like, oh, I have my freedom right now. I'm
Right.
by
Now it's
myself,
time,
of
yes,
course.
Rebellion.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, speaking of that, like, okay, so Demi Lovato, who's another great singer.
She's I think she has one of the best voices of our generation,
She
for
truly
sure.
does. She's amazing.
Yeah.
And she had some problems, and we all have problems, and she had the substance abuse thing going
Yeah.
on. And so a lot of people turned away from her when she was doing what I would consider her own cathartic rehabilitation. I mean, she had to write
Yeah.
about that to get out of it and get over it,
Yeah.
changing her life. But a lot of people, they shamed her for that. Like, oh, we're not going to listen to you anymore. You're
Yeah.
a drug addict. And it's like, you know what? There's a lot of drug addicts you listen to. John Lennon. I mean, I don't want to get a letter from John Lennon's attorney. I don't know what. let me go back. John Lennon, not to be. Anyway, there's a lot. I just saw Jimi Hendrix. Okay, Jimi Hendrix was a drug addict.
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix was on right before you walked in. We were watching Jimi Hendrix in the studio, and what an amazing guy! Like, really,
He's a talented,
Really, dude?
talented musician.
playing a guitar upside
Yeah.
down and backwards. Really?
I feel like
But-
Tony might be able to do that. I don't
Tony
know.
probably can. I wouldn't be surprised if Tony can do that. So let's talk about then. Okay, so the sexuality in the industry, you kind of touched on that a bit.
Yeah.
Do people pressure you as an artist to do, because I'll never be a female artist. You know, like
Well, they're
you-
very pushy with branding.
Very
Whatever
pushy
they
how
see you
they think it-
as.
yeah.
Yes.
And so during those times, I imagined that I was thankful that I wasn't a female artist, because I could only imagine those conversations like, well, you're going to need to push your boobs up. You're going to
Yeah.
need to this. And I think it's very uncomfortable for a female artist. So my question is, do people do that to you? Do they say, well, you know, Bridget, we were thinking you would do it a little bit more like this or a little bit more like that. And you go, this is only because I'm a woman. You know that this is only because of my looks. You're suggesting this.
Well, I have not experienced it in the music industry much, and I know other people who have. But I've worked with more independent studios than I have big production companies in the music industry anyway. So I have not myself, but I know girls who have. And in the modeling industry, there is definitely, like, sometimes I'll be on a photo shoot and, you know, we're already pretty provocative, but then they're like, oh, well, why don't you try this? And in my head, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm comfortable with that. But then I kind of just do it anyway because it's easier to get it out of the way. And then it's like, I don't know that I really want those photos out there, but I already took them, so.
And even in this generation of OnlyFans, like,
Yeah.
is there any area that's not off limits? Like everything now, like you go to
Well,
Twitter and oh my God,
Yeah, no, there's.
you know, It's
Yeah.
like really?
Well, yeah, and I mean, Iggy Azalea, right? She has an OnlyFans, so.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure she's one of the ones. And I mean, Bella Thorne has one.
Bella
like,
Thorne is off the chain. She is like, somebody needs to reel her ass in. Bella Thorne is like, not only is she doing it like a boss, she's doing it like a damn shift supervisor. Like she is killing it with that shit. And it's like, girl,
Yeah.
put your clothes on and stop. I thought you were an actress mostly. Now you're this influencer.
Yeah.
You're influencing.
I mean, whatever works for her, though.
Yeah.
So-
But is that something that you would consider? Like, do you see yourself as someone who's just going to do whatever for fame? No, of course not.
No.
You've got your boundaries of things that you know. I'm not going to do.
Yeah,
that.
like, I mean, like I said, I'm fine with, you know, pictures and things, but I don't think I'd want to go into the porn industry. You know, respect to people who do, but that's probably where I would draw my limit.
Well, there was a campaign a few years ago. I remember it was before the pandemic, but not that much. It wasn't like 10 years ago. But it was when Game of Thrones was a popular thing. And the point of this campaign was that you can't tell the difference from what you would see on regular HBO nowadays and what you would see in a porn. So this campaign, I'm going to put it on this show. I'm going to run that clip on this show. But anyway, during this campaign, a young actress calls home to her mom. She's like, "I got the part," and her mom's like, "What?"
Oh,
She's like,
yeah.
"Yes, I'm going to be on HBO." And she's like, "Wow, what are you doing?" She's, "Well, I get gang raped, and then there's this one scene
no.
where I have to, do this and that and this and that." And it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's on HBO? Well, yeah, and a lot of the things that they put on Game of Thrones, I would never, I've never, I mean, I've made some little, like, my quirky type films.
Yeah.
But I'm not a filmmaker, and I
Yeah.
would never claim to be a filmmaker. But I can only imagine that those filmmakers had to say to themselves, like, how do we get Amelia Clark naked again for this scene? Okay, let's say she's bathing a dragon. Okay, good. So now we've already got her in the bathtub. So she's got to not have her clothes on. Okay, great.
Yeah.
And it's like, really, guys? Like, where is the...
Well, I mean, I think they're pressured to have a certain amount of, like, I mean, I know there are certain quotas they have to hit with different networks, and so they probably have to write it in. They're probably required to have a certain amount. And I mean, it sells. People like it. People
It
like the
does.
violence in it. They like, you know, I mean, granted, it's a great show even without all that stuff.
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely, I think they have to. I think that's why they do it.